Okay, first, I want to explain navigation in the software. Okay, it's very easy and simple. With a right click, you can rotate. The important thing about the rotate is here. If you go to the here, and for example, if you click on a library, it automatically at the that model at the center of the model, and with these handles, you can move them. As you can see, if you going your mouse over a scene, it rotate according the center of the scene. But if you want to rotate around a specific part of the model, you can going your mouse over there and rotate according to the that. With a scroll mouse, you can zoom according your mouse position. Nice. Okay, you can move here with your scroll mouse, and as you can see, if I rotate here, it automatically rotates based on the center of the scene, but you can go in your mouse over its object here around according the object. If you going here, it's a select tool. If you're holding your mouse, you can see the selection tool and other setting that I will be explaining a selection tool. But here you can define the move tool, rotate tool, and rotation. Okay, with a scroll, you can scroll in your mouse, and with the holding your middle mouse button, you can pan your scene. Uh, we have canvas, and this is an image and the scene in 3D scene that are different. That I will be explain it. But it's very easy. You can with a left click of the mouse, you can select them. That's our selection tool. Okay. If we are in a selection tool, we can do everything automatically. If you select something with this handles or gizmo, you can move them in the x-axis. This is an y-axis, and this is a z-axis. You can change it. If you click on one of them, you can type any specific number that you want to move it. If you click on here, as you can see, if you're holding mouse, you are in this tool, we have all move, rotate, and scale tool at once. So you can right click and rotate it. It's very easy. In here, if you're going mouse here or you click it, you can rotate a specific angle that you want. Or you can click and drag and rotate. If you confuse, you can go in here in the properties. You can change the position. As you can see, change the position in Y, change the position in the Z, or in the X axis. Here you can change the rotation, and here you can click and make them at a default 0 in X or Y or Z axis. Here you can scale it. These boxes are scaling according the pivots of that object. The pivot of this object is at the bottom, and you can scale it in this direction, scale it in this direction, or scale it in this direction, or rotate it. Nice. And after that, you can make them all of the one. It's the default scale of that object. Here is the size of that object in any direction. This is a 1. You can scale it in this direction and make it a 0, 1 again. And this is a size. Instead of the scale, you can change a specific number here in a centimeter. This is a unit of the dimension. So another important thing is a pivot point. The pivot point of any object, it's change it to the top, center, and the bottom of that. So as you can see, the pivot point is the center. If you rotate it, it's rotate based on the center of that object. Or you can make it a top, make it top of that object. This pivot point is very important. You can make it a bottom. And if you have any rotation, anything, you can. Here we have 4 degree, make it a 0. Nice. This is a pivot, and because of the auto snap, it's snapping on the ground. So this is an move tool. If you want just to move tool, active the move tool, the gizmo change just like the move tool. Here you can change the move tool, And in this symbols, it means you can move the object based on a x and y plane. As you can see, it does not go in z-axis, or based on a y and z-axis. In this plane, as you can see, there's a purple image in there, or on the ground. If you, another interesting thing is this pivot point. Okay, for example, I insert this object here. For example, again, let's go to this object and click and drag any object here. If you select your object and move align to the surface, as you can see, if you're going your mouse over there, move align to the surface. If you click and then drag on an object, as you can see, it's snapping automatically on the surface of any object in a scene. It's important because the pivot point of this object is at the bottom of that. But if you select the pivot point at the center, as you can see, the center of that object will be snapped to the plane or other surfaces. So the pivot point, you can define it, and automatically it snap to that object. And be careful about the plane. If you go to in the plane, if you go in here, you can see it, but if you render, you cannot see the other object that is below the plane. So the plane is very important. So we are in a move tool, just move to hold your mouse. If you want to just rotation, tools will be active. The gizmo, just you can activate it and rotate it. It's very easy. Or as you can see, if you click and hold your mouse, it's a specific tool in a gizmo will be active. Just scale. You can scale. You can scale in this degree, in this axis, or both axes. Interesting. Okay, you can test it out. So if you want all of the tools, all of the move tool, rotation tool, scale tool at the once, you can click this selection tool. And as you can see, scale, rotation, pivot point, and the move tool are at once. And here, if you select any object, we have properties of the for rotation, movement, and scale. And in a specific object, here you can change the hemisphere or any type of the. You can change the radius if you want. Any side that you want, you can change the properties of that. I will explain it if we reach this library. Some object has a special settings in there that I have to find them. You have to find them and use them. Okay, you learn first tools here that are for navigation in a scene and a navigation to objects. In the next lesson, we are going more to explain the selection tools. Okay. This is a navigation, right? It's simple. Hello, my friends. To continue these tutorials on YouTube, subscribe us, like us, and hit the bell icon. And now you will be alerted about all of the amazing videos that we release.